What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Brainwash to be Broke, the show where we expose all the beliefs, all the lies, all the programming that we've been taught since our young age when it comes to our relationships, our the money beliefs, religion, everything basically based on what the culture programming is all about. And today we are here with another amazing guest. His name is Mark. He is a performance coach and founder of the Happiness Breakthrough, who helps LDS entrepreneurs and men elevate their personal and professional lives across the 5 pillars of clarity, energy, productivity, courage, and influence, blending high performance with faith and family. So super pumped to have him here. Today is gonna be loaded episode. We will go for sure a lot to a mindset because that's his playground. So I'm really pumped to have him here. And I don't want to start this episode as most of the episodes are, and like most of the podcast. I would love to ask you first very simple question, which will open up a lot of the conversation that we're gonna go through. But first, let me ask you, what is the claim to fame for you? Like, what is the thing that you are known for?
Oh boy, the thing that I am known for. Well, in high school, I was known as Becky's boyfriend. So I married.
Wow, that
Hey,
I have never expected that actually.
look,
Who is
look.
Becky?
So Becky is my wife. We've been married. We're coming up on 35 years. She's my high school sweetheart. So what is my claim to fame? It is probably that. It would be I have stuck with the same woman for 35 years. We have 6 kids, 15 grandchildren,
Wow.
and we have intentionally have been setting up our life to not live within the boundaries that society has placed upon so many of us, including entrepreneurs.
So yeah, so true, and this is so powerful. 6 kids. Wow.
Six.
Okay.
Okay. Let me rephrase. We have just 6 kids.
That's awesome. I love it. Like this is really, you know, I don't know why is that actually a truth or if it's even a truth, but it seems like that Americans, they love big families. Ever like I most of the people what I know and like from my circle, they all love to have like at least four, better 10. Like I'm like wow.
You
And
know,
in this like
I,
yeah,
I
it's
don't I
really
don't know if
interesting.
it's I don't know if it's that we love to have big families. Um, yeah, I'll just speak unfiltered. Maybe we just love on how that got there. How we got a big family. Maybe that's what we love.
Yeah.
But here's what's interesting. So, uh, my dad grew up in upstate New York,
Uh-huh.
very strong Irish Catholic area.
Yep.
And they all had big families.
Mm.
And, I think if you have roots that go back to that, you either absolutely loved it or you did the exact opposite and you had smaller families. Yet
Mhm.
we always had a huge family reunion. And I love my memories as a child going to family reunion up in upstate New York. I loved
Uh-huh.
going to a place called Fourth Lake, and I had cousins galore. And I think it's fun to have a big family. My wife comes from an even larger family.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
she
get it
is.
now.
Yeah, she's
I
one
see.
of 9 children. So, maybe we actually didn't understand the assignment and we only had 6. Maybe we're supposed to have more. I don't know. But we have a big family and I absolutely love it and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
That's beautiful. I love it. All right. Well, before we dive into, more of those topics, I would love to actually know well, start a little bit different direction, and that would be like with this all success and everything what you've done so far, what is the truth that driving source for you? What is the thing that actually fulfilling you so much to go and wake up every day and push it hard?
Uh, I have a strong belief that this world is in absolute chaos. If you turn on, and I don't care what news it is, It could
Yeah.
be BBC, NBC, CBC, whatever it is. They are absolutely paid to shovel chaos into our
Mhm.
minds. And then we leave our humble homes and we go out into the world and we have traffic and signs and marketing and everything is absolutely coming at us. Then we say, I want a break. I want to get away. And what do? We grab our cell phones, right?
Mhm.
We grab our phone and we're like, oh, let's look at social media. And we sit here and we begin to convince ourselves that this world that we're living is reality.
Mhm.
But once we start to believe that what you see on news is reality, you make decisions on fear. Once you believe that what you see on social media is real, you make decisions off of jealousy. Once you
Mhm.
believe that everything is happening outside of your home is reality, you're suddenly living to someone else's expectation. So, what drives me is providing hope,
Mhm.
giving people a feeling inside that, you know what? You can do this. You can
Mhm.
accomplish it. I
Yeah.
won't sugarcoat it. Entrepreneurship is not easy.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to ride these crazy storms. I've ridden a wild storm over the past 20 years of severe highs and severe lows. You have to be willing to withstand that. But at the heart of entrepreneurship for me is helping other people not just have hope, but to give them the tools that I've researched for 25 years now on how to become successful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what drives me. What drives me is I have 6 kids and 5 of them are entrepreneurs.
Wow.
The,
That's
the,
awesome. I love that. Oh my gosh.
the one that isn't, she's a full-time student at university. So she just isn't there yet. So for me,
Mhm.
entrepreneurship is fabulous and I love it.
Well, if you even think about it, like the entrepreneurship skills, even in corporate job, right,
Mhm.
will always serves you. It doesn't matter like where you are. Of course, like if you're seeking for freedom and like freedom to choose and all sorts of freedoms that are possible there, it's better to go probably yourself, right? But like if you don't and like you are okay being in this type of environment and be employed and literally listen to what you're supposed to do and such, still the entrepreneurship skills will serve you. You're gonna get better pay. You're going to be more valuable for the company because basically everything, everywhere, wherever you're going to work, it's all built by entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
So I believe like it's very interesting that we in like when we going to school, we have never been taught actually like any of those entrepreneurship skills. And funny enough, we are actually going to school to learn about how to make money, right? And like this is insanity to me because like why are we like the school never been like it's for over I don't know how many maybe 100 years already, never nothing changed since the school being like developed to this type of um um to this type of I don't know how to call it, like the way that actually the schools are basically run this time at this time, and people like basically keeping it this way. I don't think that anything's gonna change. And even though like when you can see what is going on now with AI and everything, what is happening, like where the world is going, like we still see people, for example, like my girlfriend's brother, he's literally learning how to do freaking presentations with PowerPoint, doing it like literally manually instead of AI doing it for them, right? So it's really interesting. And where the population goes, like like and the I have no clue. What is your thoughts on actually the whole thing that is happening right now?
Well, oh boy, I've got so many thoughts on this.
Okay.
Number one, there is a misunderstanding on what entrepreneurship is.
Mm-hmm.
Most people look at entrepreneurship and they say it is this idea, oh, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to do a service, I'm going to create something. And they believe that is the box wherein entrepreneurship lives.
Yeah.
But if you don't mind, I'd like to offer a different definition of entrepreneurship.
Sure. Yeah, go. Yeah, go for it.
Entrepreneurship, if you look at the root of it, entre, the beginning, it is this idea and then ship and action. It's a beginning of taking action for the betterment of society, the betterment of people. So therefore, entrepreneurship is not necessarily a real estate agent, a doctor, right, that has started their own practice, someone doing clothing or making art, or a podcast. Entrepreneurship is the beginning of action that helps society. That includes people working in that corporate world. You can live by entrepreneurship rules and entrepreneurship ideologies to improve the workplace. So if you are on a salary or even an hourly wage, how do you improve your station at your business? It is to start something, to lead something, to be in action constantly. So the rules of entrepreneurship apply to the rules of corporate world.
Yeah.
It's and if you really look at those that climb the ladder, they're the ones that understand that. So if you want to grow in your career working for a corporation, start studying entrepreneurs. Start studying those that are moving the needle and what it takes to do that. Do you mind if I take a moment and share a story
Totally.
of
Go ahead.
where?
Yeah, I love to.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So if I look back at my beginnings and where I learned to become an entrepreneur, and this is actually pretty fascinating because here in the audience is actually my father, and this is going to be a story about my father. He is currently sitting just over to the side here. Growing up in the mountains of Colorado, our favorite summer activity was camping. We loved to go out to camp and hike and explore and get out into nature. And I still remember very, very clearly, we were camping at one of our family's favorite areas called Estes National Park. Beautiful area. We set up the camp. We spent several days there, and it was time for us to pack up and not go home, but pack up and go to another campsite, to another region of the area. And I remember helping my dad, and I was a young teenager at the time, probably 12 or 13. And my dad taught me a great principle, and here it is. He said, okay, we're all packed up. Did you get all the trash? Well, yes, I did. And he put his arm around me and he walked around the campsite and he looked inside the fire pit and he said, did you get the trash in the fire pit? Of course, I looked at him like a 12-year-old incredulously. Dad, this is the fire pit. Why would I take the trash out? He said, you always leave it better than you found it. Wow, talking about a powerful lesson in entrepreneurship. So guess what happened? We then went to another part of the state and we went camping. And at the end, he comes to me and says, hey, Mark, did you clean up the campsite? I said, well, of course I did, Dad. And I pulled him over. I said, look, I took the trash out of the fire pit. And I bet he doesn't even remember this. And this was a seminal moment for me. He said, yes, but a great job. And he gave me praise. And he said, yes, but did you look at the rest of our campsite to make sure that you picked up all of the little pieces of trash? No, Dad, I didn't do that, but I'll do that. And of course, I was a 12 or 13-year-old. I probably was not as kind. I probably was like, oh, fine, I'll do that. But I did it. And what did he say? He said, Mark, you always leave it better than you found it. Let me give one more stop along our summer journey. Of course, with every stop, I got better and better at cleaning up and leaving it better than I found it. So here it was, our last camping trip of the summer. And I was so excited. Hey, Dad, look at this. I cleaned up the fire pit. I cleaned up around the fire pit. I cleaned up everything within our campsite. I was so proud of what I had learned and accomplished. And he looked at me and he said, "But did you pick up the trash in the site next to us?" I was blown away. Why on earth would I pick up the trash on the site next to us? Why would that be a thing? Dad, you're crazy. We didn't camp over there. That's not my trash. He said, "Mark, you always leave it better than you found it." That is the secret to entrepreneurship. It doesn't matter if you're working in a corporation or if you're self-employed. Your goal as an entrepreneur is to be in action and always leave it better than you found it. That is how you grow a business, and that's how you climb the corporate ladder.
I love it. This is so powerful. Wow. Wow. Because like yeah, I've never actually experienced this something like this type of story when literally like it makes so much sense also, especially like with it, yeah, it's so powerful. This is incredible. Anyway, like this is yeah, this is just that I'm going to take literally small pieces of content, and this is going to be insane. Anyway, yeah, I just see it completely. Anyway, well, when it comes to what from those lessons that you got, even like from your father and so on, was there something that like you actually used to teach your kids, actually, like that you move them from your dad to your kids? I would
Oh,
love to hear
uh,
like
a
what
hundred
type of
percent.
actually even.
And it's not just my kids. I would say
Mm-hmm.
this is a leadership style that I
Yep.
have implemented because of what
Yep.
he and how he showed me.
Yep.
Um, Interestingly enough, when I went on through my education and I got a master's degree and I was looking at the studying how people learn and try to understand how the human mind works. And then when I went on to do my doctorate to further deepen the understanding of why are some people successful while other people are not, I could distill it down to the very same lesson of leadership. Remember the very first time when he showed me the trash
Mm-hmm.
inside of the fire pit. Was he standing across from me? No. Was
Mm-hmm.
he standing and on another part of the campsite? No. He was
Mm-hmm.
literally next to me,
Mm-hmm.
arm over my shoulder. One of the greatest leaders I have ever had in my life was a gentleman by the name of Richard Scott, Richard G.
Mm-hmm.
Scott. And I remember one day getting up from my desk in a hurry, and he happened to be there, and he puts his arm around me as we walked to the elevator, and he just asked how I was doing. He
Mm-hmm.
asked about my life and what's going on and checked in to make sure that Mark, the individual, was taken care of, not the work. Leaders who care about their employees, fathers who care and work side by side with their children are more successful. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, there's a statistic that
Mm-hmm.
shows that if a father goes to church and the
Yep.
mother does not, the child is 67% likely to remain active in their faith. When the
Mm-hmm.
father does not attend with the child, that 67% drops to less than 5%.
Wow.
There is power in standing shoulder by shoulder. So, how do I parent? Shoulder by shoulder. How do I lead my
Mm-hmm.
employees? We've got 30 of them, shoulder by shoulder.
So that's basically all came from the lessons of your dad giving you this type of basically a private speech for after
Yeah.
camping. Wow,
It,
this is
it
awesome.
it's the
This is great.
power.
How I'm so curious. How did how did he actually learn that even? Like, how did he like figure this? Like, where did he get it from? Like, how? Yeah,
Um,
did he share that with you,
so
or he
he has
didn't?
not shared that, but I believe I can extrapolate based on what I know of his upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother, his mother,
Mm-hmm.
strong, faithful, independent woman. My grandfather, uh, my dad's father, entrepreneur, business leader, role model in their town in upstate New York. So it begs the question, how did they become that? How did
Mm-hmm.
they become those types of individuals? It's passed down from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
It's passed down through stories of family. It's
Right.
passed down for thousands of years the exact same way
Yeah.
that children look to their parents as a role model. And the role model must be willing to teach side by side, to spend time with them, to share stories. I have many recollections of spending time with my dad all around the country and him sharing stories of family. So
Mm-hmm.
how did he become this way? Stories, storytelling. So the more that we share stories of success, the more we share stories of hardship and how family members have overcome it, the more powerful we become individually because that's our DNA. That's our people. Our past, we are nothing more than the culmination of our past. So if you don't understand and know your past and know the stories and know who your parents and grandparents and great great parents were, you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Understand the
Yeah.
story. So how did he become that way? The same way that he did that with me.
So you are basically from entrepreneurial family, which is, would you say that you've been raised like a different way than most of the people? Like when you are from like from
Hmm.
when you are grown or raised in basically in a family which working in corporate.
Um,
Would you say that the way that they teach kids are different
yes,
from what you experienced?
I
Okay,
would
go ahead.
definitely say that I was raised differently
Yep.
than so many maybe my contemporaries, many of them were raised the same way,
Yeah.
but they didn't keep their tradition of how they were
Yeah.
raised alive. Now there is a belief of a lot of toxicity that came with
Yeah.
how my wife and I were raised. But
Mm-hmm.
there's also a lot of great around how I was raised. And much of my success is directly tied to the lessons I learned. One, obviously I shared, you always leave it better than you found it. But
Yep.
number two, my parents had very high expectations for
Mm-hmm.
me. Very high expectations. Um, there is, and this is where that becomes a double edged sword. See,
Yep.
they shared the expectation. Wonderful. I was driving to the expectation. Fantastic. If I didn't meet the expectation, it was met with some, I'll call it punishment. Let's just call it parenting. Let's just call
Yeah.
it corrective forces.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality was, I was met with some disappointment. Okay,
Yeah.
what parent doesn't look at their own children and want the best for them?
Mm-hmm.
So their goal, their intent was for me to become the best. My father's generation grew up with a belief that you are to become more successful and better off than his parents' generation. Likewise, my generation is meant to become more successful and better off than his generation. Hard to do with the great transition of wealth, and we won't get into the politics of that. However, there is an expectation of becoming great. I did the same thing with my children. I had an expectation of greatness. Now, when they didn't meet it, I looked at what was the expectation of their greatness, a small nuance between a parent's expectation of greatness and a child's ability to achieve great. So there are certainly things that keep some people from becoming everything that they want. I'm 5'11". I will never be a professional basketball player.
Yeah.
I will never be 6'10", no matter how many stretches I do. Genetically, I could not become that, but I could become great given the skill sets, the knowledge, and the stature that I do have.
Right. Yeah.
So
And
parents,
pretty much every kid or every person basically has their own strengths, right?
yes, yeah,
And so, like, when it comes to, if you would describe a business or making money, in like how, well, let me rephrase. How would you describe uh building a business of making money? What the skills, or like what are those abilities of human that you actually need to acquire or train yourself to be actually successful in business? Or even like, what would you be focusing on the most, let's say if you are basically starting out the business, or you trying to make, yeah, like you starting out of the business, or you're just trying to make some on-site money?
great question. And now I'm going to preface this by saying this is my expertise. So, of course, I'm going to have an opinion about this very question and how I would answer it. I believe the number one skill set that will change your trajectory in life comes down to your mindset, your
Okay.
ability to control your own reality.
Hmm.
Um, I have a model called chaos to control. And
Yep.
moving someone from that idea of chaos into how could they be more in control? Well, the very first thing is they have to make a choice. Do you want to be a victim? Are you choosing to
Hmm.
be a victim? And that's okay if that's what you want to be. Or,
Would you compare mindset to a skill, actually?
oh, absolutely, it's a
Okay.
practiced skill.
Okay.
Uh,
Hmm.
let me ask this. Have you ever
Hmm.
had a moment in your life where you felt like, boy, this is hard. I don't know if I could keep going?
Yeah, totally.
Totally. What changed? What changed that gave you the ability to keep pressing forward?
The mindset, basically, I just,
So you just answered it. You just answered. It's
yeah,
it's it's
yeah,
mindset. The
yeah,
only way to get out of your current situation is mindset.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
do bad things happen? Yes. Here's a quick way to be able to work through a difficult situation. A quick tool. It's data. It's just
Hmm.
data coming in. Yes, it's data and
I
you have
love it. Yeah.
emotion tied to it, but what emotion do you
Okay.
want to have to that data?
Yeah. Okay. So would you even say that business is basically just data, like inputs and outputs?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So
And
if, like,
data
yeah,
is a
go ahead. Go ahead.
snapshot. Data is nothing more than a snapshot in time,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
forward looking, it's not backwards looking. It's what we know right now at this very given moment. So if you take a data extrapolation from your business, oh boy, this is the typical entrepreneur. You wake up alive, you're like, I can take on the day. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm financially ruined. How am I ever going to how am I going to make it? I'm never going to put food on the table again. And then you go, oh, I just made the most amazing decision. I'm the hero. And all of that is before 7 a.m. So it's just data pieces.
Hmm.
What emotion do you want to have with that data piece?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. You made a bad financial decision. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I have. I've made bad
Many.
financial decisions.
Yeah.
Guess what? So that's data. Now I get to choose. What did I learn from that bad financial decision? How can I
Yeah.
not do that again? What do I need to change in my habits that will help protect me from making the same mistake. It's just data pieces, and then begin to pull it apart and ask
Mm.
yourself about the strategies that will lead you to a different outcome.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. This is really cool because like not many people actually think about this way. Actually, like that is data. Like I've been talking with bunch of entrepreneurs, right? And they like some of them know that like mindset, like everything, like all your actions and everything what is going on, like when you do certain things or why not doing certain things are actually telling you is like basically the output of something that you're holding inside of you, right? So and that's for example mindset, right? But then when you're talking about like with people about their business and so on, and they just talking like we've been testing this and we've been testing this, but have you actually guys tracked the things that you are putting in and like that the things that are showing, like how you can like how you can know what is working or what doesn't? Like this is the most risky thing that you like what you can do, right? And like people, well, I don't know numbers that much. Like what the hell? Like what are you doing then? Like this is like you go better to like go on a go to Las Vegas, put it on red, and maybe you're gonna win a better. Like I'm like you know what I mean?
Hey, I've got to tell you, you have better odds being successful at the craps table in Vegas than you do in starting a business.
Exactly.
You really do. Like, if you want to just gamble a couple $100,000, go there.
Yeah.
But, but if you want to have a process, an education of how to make decisions, how to create connections, of how to pivot in business, of how to pivot in your life, start a business. But
Yeah.
whatever you believe is the right way, you're probably wrong.
Mm.
You have to be willing to learn through the process.
How
If you,
many times?
yeah,
Oh, yeah, go ahead, finish. Like,
I was
yeah,
just,
finish
I
your
was just
thought.
gonna say, if you're not learning through the process, you're
Mm.
stagnant.
Yeah,
If you look at stagnation, right? If you look at the Stoic principles, all right, you're either living or you're dying. Those are the only choices you have.
yeah,
Business acts the same way. It's either living and growing or dying. So
yeah.
you have to be willing to pivot throughout your day, not just
Hmm.
over a week or a month or 6 months. You have to be willing to pivot multiple times a day.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like this, and it's not easy actually. Like do like if you think about it, it's not easy to like just like because okay, I don't believe that that is literally like that is a failure. I don't believe in failure at all.
I
Like
don't
I
either.
believe only in data basically. This is the whole thing, and the only time the only way how you can fail is to give up. If you call like if you give up basically, right? And it's really like I don't know about you, but I'm also a big believer in like lifetime development, studying, and so on. And then like when you think about what is going on in the world, like when people are basically finishing their school in like 26-year old and they like basically I'm done, like and now I'm set it up for the whole life and I don't have to study. Do you, like what if like what like what is super confused, not confusing but super sad to me is that when you see for example your parents, right? Like my parents, they never been entrepreneurially like grounded or something, like being in entrepreneurship and so on. And even like their parents, grandparents, and you can see that those people basically like they're getting older and their brain they stop working completely, like they would be literally um prepping themselves to grave, like literally
Yeah.
so crazy to me. And I cannot stand that. Like I have so many hard conversations with my parents about how they should be like studying, learning new skills, testing stuff all the time to keep the brain going and like keep flooding their like keep them functional, right? And that's not just with mindset but also like with their health, right? With their body they should be like, and it's like do you like it seems to me that the whole system is not just set it up to people to keep them like basically poor, but also to keep them like live as short life as possible.
Oh, oh, absolutely. And boy, Adam, you just hit upon some really insightful pieces of success. And I've had the honor and the privilege of coaching CEOs and founders all around the world. I have presented to over 25,000 people at the Global Happiness Summit. I have had opportunity to be around really successful people. I have some friends that have sold their business for 80 million, 100 million, 120 million dollars. And every single one of them has something in common. Two things in common. One, they've been broke. They've been eating ramen noodles dry, broke. Every single one of them.
Mm,
And they have continued to learn. The
mm,
most vitality driven people on the face of the planet are the elderly who continue to learn. I know I keep bringing up my father. Let me just bring up one more quick thing here. The dude is in his 80s. He's in his mid 80s, okay? He renews his real estate license every year. Guess how many houses he has sold? Zero. But what has he done? He has kept his mind active. He
yeah.
continues and he tells me, he goes, I do this because it forces me to learn. Well, okay. That's how you keep vitality and that's how you live longer. The flip side, I happen to be married to a woman who birthed 6 children, has had major injuries. She put me through my doctorate and just a couple years ago said, you know what? I'm going to go back to school. And she thought, okay, I'll go get my associates, the 2-year degree. And she said, I'm not done. I think I need to learn more. So what does she do? She goes, I'm going to go get my bachelor's, my 4-year degree. And she finishes, and we're all so proud of her. She goes, I still have questions. I still don't understand. She's now in her 50s doing a doctorate in physical therapy, right? Physiotherapy, physical therapist. I can't believe this. She is working hard to keep her mind and her body active. Why? Because in our 50s, we're starting to see our body change. And she goes, I want to live longer. I'm having
So
fun.
just so I know, how old are you, if I may ask?
Oh, I'm 53.
53. Wow, you are very close to my parents, actually, literally,
Ah,
because like they, yeah, very, very close.
yeah.
And this is it. Like I can see from you, look at like you like you look great actually, right? And like what I don't know like what you are doing or how your like, lifestyle look like, but you do what you love. That I can feel from you, right? You love traveling, you love helping people, and so on. And like just those two things are going to fill you with joy and like, way more than if you do something and you are even like younger than they are somebody's younger than you and like literally they do the work that they hate and they never
Mhm.
take the action, they never take the responsibility to change their life, right, or do something different, right? So like only that two things can completely change the trajectory of your life, right? And then like of course like I get it, like I have never like I haven't always been like super like let's go to gym, like get shredded, like get healthy, eat clean and so on, because like there was so many informations out there and I've been like consuming as many as possible to shorten the basically the learning curve and like getting coached by so many people and like invest all my money that I literally made in England to just like learn the skills and be able to do stuff that I like my head was preventing me from doing, right? And I it was for me completely new environment. I couldn't even speak English at that time. Like literally 7 years ago, I literally learned English on my own, in a in a guest, no like a staff room basically, because when I moved to different country, I didn't have money to pay, rent,
Yeah.
or like, right? So I literally had to learn everything on my own, like mobile translator, and like listening all the time, and that's what I do on like until now, like until these days, and I love doing it because, but it's part of me, right? And probably like the way that you live, and the way that you operate, and the way that like you set it up live, this is now your norm, right? This is the way that you basically, that's how you live, and this is so powerful, like when you think about it, that the struggle, the changing the environment, changing the way that you think, the changing the way that you live, is actually only like temporary, because at like if you do it enough times, you're gonna get into the level that is actually natural for you, because this is like the new norm for you. And then it's like, I love doing it. I did it because like most of the people don't like doing certain things, because they just think that they suck at it. They don't know enough, right? Isn't it true, actually?
Oh boy, and so going back to your comment from earlier,
Okay,
you don't
sure,
believe in failure. I don't either. I've never failed in life. I've only learned, right?
sure,
And
yeah,
you said
100%.
failure is just a data piece, and it absolutely is. You only fail when you stop. You only fail if you give up. Now, notice that's not pivot, that's give up. We are
Hmm.
not biologically programmed to just roll over on our back and just lay there in the sun the rest of our dying days. We're biologically programmed to get up, to get moving, to take care of ourselves, to grow and to learn.
Yeah.
And when someone begins to just not have a drive anymore, they are often caught by fear. They're
Ooh.
afraid of either they don't know the answer,
Mm-hmm.
they don't know, uh, or if they got it, if they figured it out, maybe their life would change and they're afraid of what that would look like,
Mm-hmm.
or they're afraid of looking like they're starting small. They're afraid
Right.
of being right. Go back to what I said in the beginning. We hop on social media and you start looking at what everyone has, blah, blah, blah. And well, they've got the big mansion. Big whoop de doo. Who cares? That's just a lot of dust. Are they living? Are they living
Mm-hmm.
life? Are they experiencing life? Are they able to be there for family? Are they able to be there for friends? Are they able to make decisions and live in their dream or live in fear? If you're afraid of starting small, turn off social media. Stop worrying about it. And if people think you're crazy, you're probably doing it right. I, I'll say
And
this right
who
now.
cares?
I am sure my dad, my old man, my
Yeah.
best friend,
Yeah.
thinks I'm nuts. He thinks I'm insane. That's okay. That's okay because that's his reality. If people don't think you're being crazy, your dreams aren't big enough. Just go for it.
So true.
If you go for it and you only get 50% of the way there, I guarantee you're ahead of 99% of the world.
Mm.
Go for it.
Is there? Yeah, I'm really curious about one thing. Like
Yes.
when you said that, you've been talking about that people, like some people are scared of losing the drive, like losing the hunger. Have you thought about it for yourself? Have you been thinking about like, oh my gosh, like I cannot, I never, like I'm like, sometimes I'm scared. Well, some, well, in my, okay, in my life, I've been scared in like maybe last 2 years or so, and that actually had a huge effect on what I've been doing. And then one day, like a couple of months ago, I literally said the only way I can lose the hunger is if I decide.
There it is. You
Yeah.
have to make a choice. Remember, go back. Do you want to provide a solution or do you want to be a victim? The very
Mm-hmm.
first step in that chaos to control model is you have to make a choice, and it's one way or the other. Too many people are victim to fear, victim to worried about what other people are saying, victim to, oh, but they'll say, oh, but Dr. Mark, I don't have the money. I don't have the skills. I didn't have the parents. I didn't. Yeah, you know what else you don't have? You don't have a drive to change it. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
make a choice. I'm going to get in your face a little bit right here that people have to make a choice. And it doesn't mean it's going to work out exactly how you planned. But if you don't make a choice and start being in action, where are you going to be? Right where you are. And if you're miserable, you have no one to blame but you.
Yeah.
So,
And that's scary. That's scary place to be actually, because like
yeah.
I've been thinking about it very, very deeply also, like so many times, and like the thing that always like helped me to go through hard things is like I'm thinking once you get older, because which everybody does, which like I can believe that you would regret the
Oh,
opportunity to do the thing and you have never take the action.
if there is something to be afraid of, it's be afraid of regret. Be afraid of regret. You know, there's a scripture that we talk about. It's based on uh Second Corinthians, Paul. And he's talking about if there's anything virtuous, lovely, good report, or praiseworthy, right? He's talking about if there's anything in life that is good, seek after that, go for that, do that. But if all you do is sit on the sidelines and point and say, oh, look at them, oh, wouldn't it be great? You've made a choice. You've made a choice. You've made a choice to sit there. Okay, now I also understand maybe there's a health issue. Okay, but what is in your control? What is in your control? What can you do? Because I just met someone who lost both their legs, double amputee, and they go rock climbing. You're telling me that, right, if there was, like, they have a lot of reason to just sit back on the sidelines. What an inspiration to me. And I had that thought. I was like, dang, Mark, where have you wasted your time? Because they're climbing mountains and they don't have legs. And here I am, and I'm going, oh, my employee this, or oh, right. What a terrible way to live. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. Look for inspiration. If you're stuck, hire a coach. Reach out to me, right? I'll coach. I coach. This is what I do. I coach people. I help people become excellent in their life without increasing stress, without beating up their health. If you want to regret something, or if you want to be afraid of something, be afraid of regret, afraid of not trying.
And it's so sad because you can see so many people that actually does that. You know, you can see like you can feel it more and more once you're gonna get more and more stuff like literally that nobody can actually afford, right? Or not many people can afford, right? And then you can see, oh my gosh, look at this person, like how like he's got this and he's got that, right? But like for me, for example, like this type of things has no value at all. Like, you know, to be like to have this type of goods or whatever the heck like call it, like, right? So many like people are actually like some people are very like, you know, like materialistics, like when it comes to like, you know, collecting this type of things and so on. And like I have nothing to against, right? Everybody has their own needs and that's what they drives them, right? But like for me, I would have to be like I would literally have to have a passive income
Mm-hmm.
that's going to literally pay me for that good in 1 month to be able to me buying it.
That's a great financial way to look at that. I brought up I've made financial mistakes. Oh,
Yeah.
buddy, have I made some major mistakes that have hurt me dearly. However, where have I changed? Um, I don't buy it unless I can afford it.
Yeah.
I don't buy it unless I can afford it now.
It's
And
better to be rich in your wallet than be looking. as like being rich, right?
Hey, look, truthfully, my wife and I, we put everything we have. We sold a lot, and we put what's left in storage for over a month, almost a month and a half now. We live out of 5 suitcases and 2 backpacks. We
Mm,
travel with that.
yeah.
And it's a lot when you're, wheeling it into a hotel or to visit family. It's a lot. But the reality is, I'm learning that I don't need a lot of those other things.
Mm,
And it's a great way to get out of our materialistic
yeah.
viewpoint and start
Yeah.
focusing on the things that you really do value. What do I value? I value experience, travel, family,
Ooh,
health.
yeah.
I prioritize those and
Okay, love
then
it.
I
Yeah.
work to support that.
Mm-hmm.
Notice I don't work and then do the other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do I
Yeah.
value? And work comes at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. How
So,
okay, how did you came up to like that you value more of the experience than actually the work? Because like that's not natural also. Like you had to do that, that basically had to came from your experience and being so super long time in business and like dealing with certain things to actually realize that. Because like I know when from my experiences and like I'm 7 8 year in the business right now,
mhm.
and like 5 of them was literally struggle as hell. Like literally I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out, and like I've been like dealing with all the things plus my girlfriend. We are already together for 8 years now, and like literally I started the business the same time when we met. So um but there was a time during those first 5 years that I nearly break up with her. Well, she break up with me, because I spent the most time and effort learning and testing and like being in that entrepreneurship zone. So like so blinded that I didn't care about anything else than just that. Is
Oh,
that something that you have experienced, and that's where how did you figure it out, or what was your story? I would love to hear it.
absolutely. One, it's something that I have experienced. Two,
Mm,
what you just described describes the vast majority of the people that I coach,
yeah.
that they are become so hyper focused on something that they're forgetting something else. So I like to look at it as 5 different pillars. And so the first one is faith,
Hmm.
family, finances, uh oh shoot, freedom. Oh my. Hang on. You're gonna edit this. Why did I just have a brain cramp? Oh,
All
there we
good.
go. Okay, so here they are. You totally need to edit this piece, okay, brother? Thanks. Adam,
You're good. Don't worry.
be good to me, brother. Be good, man. So I like to look at it from 5 different perspectives that need to be in balance. So you have faith, you have family, fitness, finances, and freedom. Now,
Hmm. Hmm.
too often an entrepreneur focuses on finances, right? That's the
Yep.
business piece.
Yep.
And then what
Yep.
suffers is everything else. And then they call me up, and I love this. They say, "Mark, I'm just my marriage is on the rocks. I just don't know if we could, hold on any longer. My health, the doctor told me I need to do this, and I don't know if there's a God anymore." And right, and they just start blah blah, just throwing up
Yep.
all the things wrong in their life. Well, okay, let's focus on raising and elevating all 5 of those. When you elevate and you keep those in a proper perspective, your business flourishes.
Hmm.
In
Yeah.
sales, my dissertation, I looked at sales teams and what makes them successful. And one of the things I found is that sales teams that come across as desperate, what does a customer say? Oh, yeah, no, 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 thank you. I don't want that, right? Ooh, it stinks, right? Because you're selling off of desperation,
Yeah. Yeah.
not based on authenticity and what people really need. If you can balance all 5, you finally are in a place, your sales are just going to increase and increase and increase. That's what mine have done. And mine continue to grow because I have all 5 in place. Now, you asked me, have I ever been there? Oh, yes. The only reason why my wife and I survived our first year of marriage is we didn't even talk enough to tell each other that we're thinking about divorce.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
our first year of marriage, I was plotting, how do I leave?
Yeah.
My wife was doing the same thing. It wasn't until one day, I think we just both kind of woke up and said, is this really, is this all there is? Is this what we signed up for? And we started looking back at, what do we want our life to look like? And by
Mm.
the way, 10 years later, we went through something. And then 5 years after that. And then 10 years after that. Now here we are getting ready to celebrate 35 years of marriage. And even this week, we've had the conversation of saying, okay, where do we each need to call truce in our marriage? What can we do to adjust and say, and put what we value at the front again? But you
I
have to be
love this.
intentional about it. Too many
I
people
love.
go through the world reacting,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
If you're in nothing but reactionary road, that means your car is driving like this. When you're
Hmm.
looking down the road with purpose, you're going straight. Be intentional.
Yeah. I love this. You know, it's so funny because like I had like 2 days ago, I had a conversation about this exactly this topic with my parents because like they are no, like as I said, they are not entrepreneurial in this entrepreneurship game. So they just literally like they still living this type of in this in their basically like the way that they've been taught, right?
Mhm.
And then like I've been like because you can see that when the relationship actually like struggles because you can see like how they behave to each other when you are with them and so on. And like I've been telling them like, are you talking to each other? Like, are you actually communicate about your needs, about the things that you don't like actually in the relationship, or even like about those things that you like actually in the relationship, like everything, right? Because like you should be like this is the reason why you get to actually the relationship, right? To actually like loving each other, being like supporting each other, do things together. Like this is how it's supposed to go, right? And then like because my we had this struggle at the beginning of the relationship, like basically 5 years we've been like literally, and then we get we've been leaving England at that time literally like 5 years ago, going back to our country driving, and like we had like 2 or 3 hours of conversation. We just passed the borders of England, and then like we stopped because we talk all the time, and then we turned around and we just got back to England because we actually align in everything and we shared everything what we had to say. And like it completely changed the way that we see each other, like how we live it, like how we behave to each other and everything. And then I've been like, okay, like have you do you do this type of conversation like to my parents, right? And they're like, no, I just already give up on that because it
Mhm.
doesn't make sense. I was like, oh my gosh, no, okay, I have nothing else to say. Like that's the issue. There you go. So deal with it. Like you are
So
all both adults, right?
I love this. May I offer a model of how you could have
Yeah.
this conversation? And then with my VIP coaching clients, we actually go through a very deep model of how to have these types of conversations with your spouse, with your business partners. We really dive into this. But one of the things that you need to have is an operating procedure for how
Mm-hmm.
you will have a tough conversation, especially with a spouse or with a loved
Mm-hmm.
one. And the very first thing is you need to recognize that no matter what you say, no matter what you do, you will not have any control over anything with the exception of how you show up to the conversation. You have zero ability to actually change someone else's mind by yelling, screaming, calling names, or shutting up. However, if you ask yourself, and this is the model, ask yourself, what would the very best of me look like right now as I get ready to have this conversation with my wife or with my girlfriend? What would the very best of me look like? Okay, define that, visualize it, picture it, think about it. And then if she doesn't respond how I want, that's okay. What would the very best of me look like when she responds differently? See, now you're in control of your emotions and you are in control of how you show up to the conversation. Most arguments in marriage, and by the way, I've coached a lot of CEOs, and almost always I end up doing a session or two with a spouse, or I end up coaching the spouse also. And I'm not suggesting that I take the place of therapy. There are certain things that a therapist must be able to handle. However, with that being said, I have coached a lot of married CEOs and about how to show up in their relationship. And if they don't have that defined standard operating procedure in place, how do you know what success will look like in the conversation?
Yeah, so true. Yeah. You don't, right? You get like, yeah. Well, this is so powerful, bro. I'm loving it. This is, yeah, this is really, really insightful conversation. How did you, why did you decide to go with the, personal development way? Why even that? Because it's like really interesting. Like, I see that you are super passionate about it, right? But like, have you been since the beginning passionate about it, or how did you get into like
No,
to personal development? Yeah, go
I
ahead.
was broken. I was
Okay.
broken. I was broke. My marriage was falling apart. My health was falling apart. Sorry. And I went through a phase of my life I didn't know if I wanted to live. And I decided something needed to change. I got into it because I was broken. And then when I started to figure things out, I started realizing there's a lot of people broken in this world, or hurting, or feeling hopeless, or stressed, or have anxiety, or worry, or concern, or the weight of the world is on their shoulders and they're not sure what to do next. And I decided if God gave me another chance, I needed to dedicate my life to helping others. Ha, wow. Oh my goodness, brother. I didn't expect that. So why do I do this? Because I was broken and I figured it out. And I want to help other people figure it out. So I went on, did my master's, and then I did a doctorate. And then I went on to become certified in different coaching metrics and methods and ways. And I'm not talking your $39.99 become a life coach in a weekend. I'm talking a severe dedication and depth of knowledge of how to help people change. I got into this because I believe every single person is worth it. I believe no matter how far someone feels that they have fallen, and I hope it's okay that I say it this way, I believe that no one has fallen so far that they are out of the grasp of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I do not believe that anyone has fallen so far as to be out of the love of God. My job is to help people realize that again, to
I
save
love it.
marriages,
It's so beautiful.
to help.
Oh my gosh, man, you are, yeah. I love this.
Yeah.
This is h- how did you have you been always like Christian, or have you
Yes.
how did you get into, yeah, okay, have since your young age, your parents also, and so on?
You know what? Um, my faith comes directly from my grandmother.
Wow, this
She
is so powerful. Yeah.
she was an amazing, amazing woman. And I look at her and I look at my aunts. I look at my family and the faith that they had, and I have always had that. Now, my parents, and specifically my father, raised me to make my own choice. And it has absolutely become a key identity to me of what is known as moral agency and spiritual agency. Moral agency is one's ability to choose that which is good, and spiritual agency is one's ability to choose to worship where and how they may. I am a strong, strong believer in that. In fact, that's the very core of my own religion, and my faith journey is at the center of that.
How much religion, like your beliefs into Jesus, actually like shaped your life and business? Like how big of an impact it has on you?
The very core of it. I pray for my employees. I pray for my business. I pray for my adversaries. I pray so that I can see them how God sees them. It changes how I approach business, because no longer do I have adversaries. I have people who may not like me. Guess what? I don't like anchovies on pizza. That doesn't mean that pizza's bad. It just means I don't like that ingredient. And that's all that is. It's okay if someone doesn't like you. There's probably about 20% of the world who actually don't like you, who just do not for one reason or another. And that's okay. There's 80% of the world who's like, or your sphere in your world who are like, one way or the other. It's good. It's bad. Oh, sorry, let me start over. It's 10% of the world, of your sphere, they don't like you. Who cares? Who cares? They don't like you. 80% are like, whatever. It's this, it's that. 10% love you.
Good.
I swallowed a fly or something. 10% love you. Focus on that. Don't worry about the other 90%. Who cares? Focus
This
on
is
those that
great
support you and love
advice.
you,
Yeah.
and keep going and keep going
Yeah,
and keep going.
this is a great advice. I love it because yeah, most of the people that you know, well, most of the people that they come like they try to dress certain way so they can like everybody can like them and so on. Like they care about people liking them, like some people that they don't even know liking them, where like and most of the time you never even going to talk to those people or they never gonna see you again. Like it's so insane to me, right? Like how people care about others people opinions and like how they see them and so on. So yeah, like, and it's so funny because like then 10% of people that you actually like, it's way way more than enough to change your life and help them to do whatever it takes to basically make their life better, right? Well, thank you so much, brother. That was amazing conversation. I've enjoyed a bunch of it. Like you are amazing person. And when it comes to your plans to the future, like what does it what is the goal for you now, like when it comes to, like, for example, 2026 or something, like where are you heading, like when it comes to your personal life and even like business wise, like where what is the goal for you now?
Wow, that's a very interesting question given my current circumstances in life. I think my answer would have been different 3 weeks ago.
Ooh,
And
okay.
okay, but remember, one's ability to pivot will determine your trajectory.
Mm,
One's
yeah.
ability to pivot will determine one's trajectory. And I'm having to do some pivoting right now. I'm not exactly sure what that will look like, but this is what I do know. I'm going to be spending more time in Florida by my father. Uh, is it full time? I don't know, but that is one. Two, I'm still going to be spending time in Arizona and in Hawaii, because we have business interests in Arizona, and my wife goes to school in Hawaii. So
Wow.
we go back and forth. So we'll still spend time in all of those places. What does business look like for me? It comes down to my business goal is to be a force for good in this world. That's my goal, to be a force for good. There's enough negativity, there's enough crap, there's enough bad things. I want to be a force for good, give someone some hope. And hey, if that's something that you align with, come check me out at thehappinessbreakthrough.com. Come find me on social media, The Happiness Breakthrough. I come follow me. And if that's something that you want, great. And if you want some group coaching or one-on-one VIP coaching, give me a call. Let's chat. I'm not for everyone.
Awesome.
I'm only for those that are really ready to make those changes.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And for before we wrap up, 3 rapid fire questions, just some value, even more value. Let's give them something.
All right.
So first one would be, what from your area of expertise, what would be like book that really change the way that you're looking at your life?
The Power of TED. It looks at making a choice between being a victim or a solution. And it also looks at the different aspects of your relationships, your work, and everything. The Power of TED. One of my favorites.
I love it. Okay. Second one is, what would be, if you had the opportunity to delete something, like some type of advice from the internet that doesn't serve people, and you're completely against it, what that advice would be that you would like to delete?
What would I like to delete from like social media or wherever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywhere, like what people are saying, basically, that you see it's totally BS and doesn't serve people at all.
Hatred. Delete hatred. We are not sent here on this earth to hate. We are sent here to love God and love our fellow man. We are sent here to love our neighbor. That's it. That's what I would delete as hate.
That's so powerful. Okay, this is really interesting, because like, recently we've been looking at some stats basically from the world, like how many people, like what is some source of, well, how to call it, it's what type of species actually kill most people in the world?
Oh, humans do.
Second. Humans are second.
Humans are
First
second.
Humans are second.
Mosquitoes.
But the first one is literally from like, because it's species, so it's animal, and the animal is mosquito.
Yep. Yeah. The mosquito.
Okay. Because there is lots of illnesses, like sicknesses and such, that is like literally killing people. But like the numbers, okay, for the mosquitoes is 750,000 people every year dies on mosquitoes. For like human killing human, 650,000 people dies. Crazy.
Yeah.
I have no idea where, like, what this world like is all about. There is more bad people than actually good people, it seems like, or maybe no, but like how somebody can kill somebody like because of their opinions, or I don't understand. Like, this is insanity to me. We are living in this era, like it's 2026, guys. Like, we are human species that are very, like, we are the most intelligent human species on this planet, and like we are caring about other people's opinion, and like with jealousy and hatred and all of this bullshit that literally, like, and we are capable of killing people, like killing each other. We should be making this world a better place, not to kill each other. Anyway, like, that's, yeah.
Funny thing happens when you lead with love. Doesn't mean you agree with them. It means you lead with love. It means I am willing to look at them as a son or daughter of God. And if he loves them, then isn't that my responsibility to love them? Doesn't mean I'll hang out with them. There's a lot of people in my life I'm no longer friends or hang out with because they don't operate in a manner that I would want to be around.
Yep.
But I still love them. I just don't have to be around them.
That's no that like that's normal, right? Because like that's for me the same way. If if I cannot see that the person's interest in line with mine, or he's got opinions that I don't believe, and like it's really like my core values, I'm not going to hang out with that type of person, right? But
Yeah,
that's normal. Like everybody has some type of opinion, right? Anyway, thank you so much. It was amazing. Last question is, when it comes to, if this would be your last interview we would ever done, what would be the message that you would love to leave behind you?
that's a mean question to ask. I thought we were friends, Adam. Thought we were friends here, brother. Uh, I only say that because I get emotional about things like this. One, I'll say it again: love God, love your neighbor, have hope. You were destined to become great. Greatness is not defined as the world sees it. Greatness is defined as how the Lord sees it. Go be great to one another. Go take care of one another. Go be a friend to one another. Go call the person right now that you've been thinking about. Let them know that you are thinking about them. If there's anything that I could share, it is whoever is on your mind right now, call them, see them, visit them, embrace them, hug them, share with them, lift them up. That's real success.
Love it. Well, thank you so much again. And for everybody who's listening, we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye for now.
Thank you.